So the first question is for you, actually, Mikko. What is your USP for IVF? What makes Sensapex so well fit to go into this market?
Yeah. So I think the one important thing is what Andrew also referred to, is that we really think that because of the very good technology platform behind Sensapex products, it's very suitable to be used as a platform to integrate different AI-based software features, for example. And also referring to what Alejandro showed, it was very easy for them to go from getting the device in their hands to have the first fully automated sequence for the injection. And I think these two really showcase that the products are, first of all, good fit for these applications. They can do the job, but also that it's very suitable for other applications where you need the good integration and where the software can play a big role on what you want to do with these kind of devices.
Have another Sensapex question here. So what parts of the growth initiatives are required to reach the 26 pre-COVID yearly growth you had?
Yeah, that's a good question. So that growth rate is something that we see that it will happen with the research-based business that we have now. So the expansion to, for example, the biotech or pharma or medical side of the neurotech or IVF, except for the research applications, are not included in that growth rate. So for 26% growth, we have the products we need and the ongoing activities that we are already doing to support that for a longer period of time. And then accelerating the growth from there is what comes from these additional things that we have activated recently.
So another question here, maybe more for me. How is TPA expansion into Europe going? Well, we are working on it, and one thing now is to work as one company, meeting and working and going on leads together. And for TPA, the product they have is this plate handler robot. And for that one, we are working with customers in Europe. We have a couple, one of them more with better volumes and further, but it has not yet shown significantly on the revenue. But we are moving it forward. Usually these projects takes 18 to 24 months to come up to full production. And that kind of, we have worked with it for a year, so it should show the coming years, the activities we have started. So how is the plan to do the final payment for TPA? Share issue or bank loan? Well, I would say this could be a mix of things. One thing is to pay from our own cash flows. And one other thing could be bank loans, could be, I would say it's a combination of different financing activities. The good thing for us where we are is that we all of them that are part of this stay-on bonus are still in the company. And they also have an interest that Acuvi actually can continue with its operations and in a good way, and that we can see a stronger cash. So we have a continuous dialogue with both these ones that have the stay-on bonus. But I would say it's a mix of financing sourcing. Do you see hard competition in the area you operate? Price pressure? No, we don't see price pressure in that sense. I would say where you can see a price pressure is where we go in and compete with the old motor technology. And in many ways, it's important for us then to explain that we are looking at all parts the customer needs. We actually are equal in price, but we have to educate customers how to calculate. Because a classical old motor need different things than just comparing comparing apples to oranges. So it's an education of customers more than any other. Anyone in the audience? Mister?
So in regards to the scenario that you explained, would you consider that guidance or just a possibility? And the second question related to that would be, does that take into account any of the extra projects like the 5G or the hand diagnostics?
I would say it's not a guidance. As you saw, we stretched out the trend looking 3 years back and stretched that out. And then we have said that we have activities that I think will actually increase, especially the off-the-shelf products part of the business. And by increasing that part, that this is a scenario of many. So I don't consider it guidance. And when it comes to your question about if I include the handheld diagnostics or similar projects, I would say that they are part of that. I mean, there are many things. We are launching new products. We are expanding in the US. So they are part of the total, of course. But I would say that if they would really turn into what we hope, then it would maybe be another scenario. But it's too early to talk about that. It will be very many different types of scenarios.
I haven't published the book of orders in the last years. TPA, you mentioned that once when it was acquired.
Yes.
But why, if you're not able to publish a book of orders regularly, why shall we try to believe what you make in a scenario?
No,
it's for me, it's without substance.
Yeah.
There's no base for this.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's, I guess, proof is in the pudding. I mean, it needs to be proven, of course. But we haven't published our order book other than what you mentioned with the acquisition of TPA. Then we had, it was more an accounting thing that we had to take into consideration. So, but at some point, I'm quite sure we will start publishing order book. I think it's very relevant information. But we're not there right now.
Well, it seems to me also that you're forgetting PiezoMotor. That is one part in this.
Yes,
in this group. Why don't you mention it?
No, PiezoMotor is the main part in the off-the-shelf products.
Pardon? It is?
PiezoMotor is the main part of the off-the-shelf products. So if you would kind of translate it into the companies, instruments is mainly Sensapex. Customized is mainly, but not entirely, TPA Motion. And then PiezoMotor is mainly, but not entirely, the off-the-shelf products.
You hand it over to a new company, PiezoMotor. What is rest is in the parent company. So you're doing business in parent company and PiezoMotor. So what's in the parent company?
The parent
besides of
the parent company is a holding company owning the others.
I know.
Yeah.
It's not only. There are a lot of costs and expenses and
Absolutely.
Revenues as well.
Yeah, the license revenue is in the holding company. So
it's a license revenues in the parent company.
Yeah.
All right.
So looking at the company, at the group, I would look at the total profitability and then on the revenue streams. That's at least how I see it and how I draw trends out of it. Because it's different ways of selling in the different types of business. And the intention with this presentation was to show that, to make it more clear for a person outside the company to understand why maybe revenue is going up very much sometimes and why it's fluctuating.
At the general annual meeting, I was told that you are preparing or discussing to reveal the business areas, different business areas, the revenues and net income and so on. How far has that discussion come now?
I think this is a first step, but not the final yet. So that's a quite big thing, but to take the step and take it all the way out to the accounting, it's a quite big thing. But it will happen one day as the company grow and get the more kind of set, the full group.
You're making scenarios for 3-4 years forward,
Yes?
but you're not able to present to the shareholders what they want to see. Not
Yeah.
scenarios for 5-6 years. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Lars. Oh, here are some more questions. I will try to handle them. Can you talk about the sales team in Switzerland and how the progress has been there from the day Rolf was hired? Well, I think that off the shelf, you can see a sharp difference the day we started to sell directly. And that was with the hire of a sales manager in Switzerland and building that team. So that, I would say, is the biggest reason for off the shelf to grow by 36% per year. That was about when they started. So I would say that is the one, and then you can always work in different way and work closely. But the sales team in Switzerland is, of course, not isolated down there. They are quite frequently both in Uppsala and at different customer visits. So it's a convenient place to be. A question about the stock performance, but it's very hard for me to comment. I, of course, would wish things develop better, but it's... will you consider to change partner for mobile camera zoom if the partner is not showing progress? Of course, at some point, you don't work with a partner that do not deliver. That's obvious. Is the Ultramotor finally developed for full-scale production, or is it more tuning required? Many things are in place, I would say, but it is a difference to build thousands and 100,000s. So, of course, it's not an easy thing, but we have a good plan for how to do it. So that was all of the questions on the iPad, but we have more here.
About the Ultra product. So does this have a real client at this stage that is actually
a real customer? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is actually using it for live purposes.
Yes, we have had customers buying around 100 motors. But we have many customers, but it's not, and no one is in thousands yet.
Okay. Are there repeat customers on the Ultra product line?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
I'm asking for synergies. Which are the synergies, or can there be synergies between the technology which is developed within Sensapex and the new advances in scientific for in RNA and DNA manipulation?
Yes.
Through the CRISPR-Cas9 technology.
Yeah. I will be like a politician first and just misunderstand your question and saying that synergies between Sensapex and PiezoMotor we start to see now, and that is about integrating PiezoMotor products into Sensapex different systems and stages. So that is something actually happening now after 2 years about, which is very good. But synergies, other Mikko, I think you are...
Yeah, I got a few terms there that are familiar and for the CRISPR and other things. So these are, the recent techniques for gene editing, for example, and that's one of the growth drivers for the micro-injections at the research application. So the IVF graph had the 3 areas: research, veterinary, and the human IVF. So for the research market, the part of the reason why that's growing for the micro-injections are these CRISPR and other new gene editing techniques. So actually that part is also growing quite nicely, not just the human part, but the research part of that also. And these are becoming more common all the time.
I'm not sure if this is for Mikko or yourself, but the business agreement with Nikon is primarily, I think, as I understand it, it's primarily a US thing or North American deal. Can you elaborate a little bit on your future expectancy of that agreement and what it might lead to in a few years' term, and if it's something that might grow to other regions and so forth? Thank you.
Yeah. So yes, we start in the US market, but of course the Nikon is operating globally, and we do some things with them in the Europe also, but the US market is where they are more active in these kind of applications where our products are used. And the very nice thing about that is that they saw our microscope that is based on the Nikon optics as a new version of their own product in a sense. So they had the older product for that application segment, and when they saw that we have something newer, they were taking that in as a way to serve their customer segment better with this bundled offering. So I think that is very important because usually the companies don't like to provide the other manufacturers' products, and the salesmen want to sell their own products, but this is truly like a cooperation package in that perspective. Yeah, we think there's a good chance that we can expand from US to the other market areas, but the big companies sometimes are a bit conservative how fast they roll out the other countries, but the US is the biggest market for them, and thus it's a good showcase for that also in that sense. Big companies also have, it takes a bit more time to get things to the field in a sense, but we are now active in their sales systems. Their salesmen are presenting our products to customers now. So I think during the rest of the year, we start to get some results, like the first wave results from this cooperation with the US, because they are now active on the field there. Now, for the business numbers, these are something that are a bit harder to estimate, but they have 200 salesmen in Americas. We have one in Oulu, so we do expect that they can cover much bigger customer base than we can. It is a good size market in general for these kind of special microscopes, so much bigger than our current business in total. So I think it might take a bit time to get there, to do the penetration, but even in the early phases, it should be a significant addition to our sales volumes. The other very important milestone that we are now just about to reach is that they are also integrating control of our devices to their microscope software. So what that means is that all the other companies who use Nikon-based systems can then use our devices with it if they use their software. And this integration is ongoing and will be launched in a month from now. And I think this makes it possible that we can offer not just a full solution to their customers, but also parts of that, like, for example, just a sample stage, because it's then integrated in their software. It works for their distributors and partners in much better way or easier way. So I think this is another thing that we are waiting that we can now finish, and it allows like the wider rollout of their full portfolio.
And it's important that it's not an exclusive agreement. So
No.
therefore we're hoping it will work, but we're not dependent on it. I will take a few more questions here, and then I will let you go. I had a question about the EBITDA margin, why it's increasing, and the one asking the question really answered it himself. It's about us changing our cost structure. Mostly it's about pushing out consultants and moving in where we see a long-term need of resources, hiring instead. And in some cases, it's also about changing the type of resources we have in-house to more hands-on that doesn't drive consultant costs. So I would say that those are the biggest reasons. And then I have final questions about the investments in production in Uppsala. We had a lot of scrap last year, and the new ceramic line that shall take care of this. It will be installed now in November, and then I think it will be up and running early Q2, April. So by then. But we haven't seen that much scrap the past 6 to 9 months now, so 6 months. So it's looking better, but it will be good to have the new equipment in place.
Regarding the patent portfolio, since there is a revenue stream from Physik Instrumentation in Germany, as far as I know,
Yep.
Is there any other actions happening in terms of the patent portfolio, both in terms of risk that patents run out, or in terms of new revenue streams that is not tapped yet?
Good question. Many of our patent, the basic ones, around the legs technology in Uppsala and around the old wave, Ultra, the old technology, they are running out now and will run out to 2025, 26. In many ways, we haven't patented. Part of kind of the process of producing is not patented, and that has been by intention because those recipes are really critical to get a stable product. We are now filing patents in different areas, and most of the areas are around applications we see for the new platform. So we have, if I remember correctly, 3 to 5 patents pending or just approved in those areas. So we are filing new ones, but it's hard to say that what it will generate in the end in revenue streams. But at least we are protecting those applications.
Just to follow up on that, but is there a strategy to build a new revenue stream of the patents, like, you know, sending an IPO?
It's not a strategy we have, but it depends on the situation. So we're not actively working to get patent. It's not our business to have it. And if I could choose, I mean, it's good to have, but in a way you prefer to protect what you have and sell products. That's really our key core business, not patents. So no more questions here. And we made it in about an hour. So thank you for good questions, and thank you for listening. And Mick and I will stay if you have any questions over coffee or so.
Great. Thank you very much. And thank you, Andrew and Alejandro, if we are still there. Very nice you could join.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye now.